Reynolds is a mother of 3 boys and a finance executive with a passion for education. She has offered her expertise in business to help further the expansion of high-quality school choice options and to improve accountability and governance in Florida's public schools. During her tenure, she co-founded the Florida Coalition of School Board Members and served as the group's president. She was appointed by Florida's 2017-2018 Constitution Revision Commission by then Speaker of the House Richard Corcoran, and recently served as Governor DeSantis's Advisory Committee on Education and Workforce Development. She is president and CEO of the Optima Foundation, a nonprofit established to support and expand superior schools of choice, and also leads the school choice movement, an advocacy arm which works to engage and empower communities in the battle for education freedom. Please welcome Erika Donalds.
Thank you. What an inspiring morning. I don't know about you, but that got me really fired up for what we're doing, and also very disturbed, but it does drive home the point for all of us that this is an emergency. The work that we're doing in school choice and reaching parents with the truth about what their children are learning in the public school system is first and foremost what we need to do to save our country, aside from all the other things that we're doing for our nation. So thank you all for being here and for your interest in this important topic. As is mentioned, I've been involved in school choice initiatives for quite a while. I started my journey kind of as an advocate against Common Core. That was the first thing that kind of woke me up to the problems in our education system. I was, like many parents, a mom who chose my children's school. I exercised school choice the way many middle-income families do, by selecting a house in the district where I wanted my kids to go to school. And I thought, because that school had an A attached to it, that was the extent of my duty, and making sure, of course, they do their homework. But as someone who is asked questions and looks into things, when my oldest child was in 3rd grade, and the math changed dramatically to Common Core math, I started asking questions. I started meeting with the teacher, who had no influence and herself was in tears over the change in the mathematics. I met with the principal, I met with the district, and then ultimately had to meet with the state representative, because these decisions were being made so far away from the classroom. And that was really disturbing to me. So around that time, I discovered school choice, the way many parents do. You find out that there aren't choices, and that's when you become a school choice advocate. That's what happened to me with my kids who didn't fit into the round hole exactly at the public schools, and I thought maybe they were just different. But when I got involved in helping to start a classical charter school here, I found out that there were lots and lots of parents that felt the same way that I did. They weren't satisfied with the A schools their kids were in. There was something missing from the curriculum, or they were being taught things that did not align with our values at home, as Christians especially. And so what do we do about that? You're going to hear about a lot of options. One that I'm very familiar with, after having served on the public school board here in Collier County, is a manner of competition that is part of the public school system called charter schools. Many of you have probably heard about charter schools. You might not know how they work. However, they are a public school option, so of course they are secular in nature. They're not religious schools, but they are free and open to any student whose family chooses for them to attend, chosen by a random lottery. That's what makes them so attractive as an option for school choice. However, I will warn you that not all charter schools are created equal. Most charter schools, and especially the larger companies around the country, are very progressive. They're teaching these same things that you're seeing on here. So it's not the answer just in and of itself. But the schools that we at the Optima Foundation promote and help to open and support are partnered with Hillsdale College. They're classical method charter schools. We get our curriculum from Hillsdale College Barney Charter School Initiative. It is a traditional curriculum. It teaches the exceptionalism of our country, the country of America. It teaches Western civilization and the true history of our nation to these children. It also teaches moral character and civic virtue. You don't have to teach chapter and verse to teach biblical traditional values in public schools. This is what they were doing for generations before we came along, right? So I think that the Hillsdale College Barney Charter School Initiative Charter School Program is an excellent way to impact a wide variety and a wide number of students through the public school system and offer a school choice to families. The Optima Foundation is currently operating 2 Hillsdale College Barney Charter School schools. One is in Stuart, Florida, and actually our founding board chair is here, Linda Daniel, who helped open that school in 2019. The school has over 1,000 students enrolled right now and 850 students on a waiting list. That's in a district that has only 20,000 students. So nearly 10% of that entire district is either in our school or on our waiting list, and the school's only been open 2 years and currently is only K-7, and it'll eventually be K-12. So you can see the type of demand that we're seeing from families in those areas. We have a school in Jacksonville, which is a diverse school. It's 55% minority, 57% free and reduced lunch. Right in downtown urban Jacksonville, and we're looking to grow that school from 450 this year to 900 next year of those students, many of whom in those disadvantaged communities came to us unable to read, even at a 6th grade level. We're doing free after-school tutoring and helping these kids get up to speed. But also they're coming from communities where they do not hear anything about the history of our country and the culture of America. So it's really important to be in those areas. And finally, our school here, Naples Classical Academy, opening this fall, we have over 1,700 applications for that school for the fall. And why is that? This is a record for all of the Hillsdale schools that have opened. It is worth celebrating. And I'll tell you, as Alex said earlier about COVID and when our families, including myself, whose kids were home doing online learning, these parents, I've heard from so many of them, they, for the first time, got to see up close and personal what their kids were learning in school, but more importantly, what they were not learning, because that curriculum is so lacking that parents started looking for a better option, and that's why we're seeing such incredible demand. So that's about the 3 charter schools we're opening. We're looking to open at least 1 brick and mortar charter school per year. We can't meet the demand fast enough for the brick and mortar classical schools just in the state of Florida, and we also, as a foundation, because we're a nonprofit, we help other groups around the country through advice and consulting to help them establish their Hillsdale College charter schools in their areas as well. However, it's just not enough. There is far more demand than we can meet, and as you can see, we have got to reach thousands and thousands more kids than we're reaching. So we've embarked on the next level of starting a virtual classical charter school, which will be a public school option in Florida to compete with Florida Virtual School, which is only delivering the progressive education virtually. It's not doing any better job. In fact, by all accounts, it's doing a worse job of teaching the basics of education, and you're not saving these children from the indoctrination if you're just putting them in a progressive online school versus a progressive in-person school. There currently does not exist a public classical virtual option in Florida or anywhere else in the country, and so we're starting that here, and it's going to be based here in Collier County, and then we're going to offer that across the state of Florida starting next year, and then across the country beyond that. So we're really excited about the things that we're doing. Again, teaching moral character and civic virtue, not teaching the types of things that we saw today, and emphasizing the wonderful exceptionalism of our country and America. You can support us by getting in touch with us at the Optima Foundation at optimaed.org, and we can plug you in either to a local school or with us. I do want to recognize while I'm here, because so many great people are involved in our organization, Carol Manning is on the Optima Foundation board. She's here. Bob Harden is also on our board. Here's Carol. I mentioned Linda Daniel, who was on one of our charter school board. That's another way that you could be involved, is being on a charter school board. That's a volunteer position, and it's very helpful to the cause, I'll say. And then 2 of my staff members are also here, Susan Turner and Chuck Marshall in the back. And the principal of Naples Classical Academy is also here, John Bruner, and he has some information about some events and things that we have coming up. And if you have parents that you know, yes, he's awesome. He will tell you all about the wonders and beauty of classical education. But if you have parents that you know here locally who need a great place for their child, yeah, definitely put them in touch with us. And Florida Citizens Alliance, just thank you for all that you guys do to help spread the good word about school choice.